Hey, this is Ashley with Just a Second, a podcast for Putnam County. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Just a Second podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Alford Glance, and I'm here with our friends from Blenko, Dave and Bryson. Good afternoon. How are you all doing?
Really good, Ashley. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great. The weather's finally starting to turn, so that puts me in a great mood, and
Yeah.
every day's good.
Well, we're glad that you guys could join us today. We know that it's a very busy time down at Blenko this time of year. So why don't we just start off a little bit and talk about, you guys and where you come from, and then we'll kind of get into how you got to Blenko, because clearly neither one of your last names is Blenko. So we're going to start with that. Dave, why don't you give us a start?
Sure. Thanks, Ashley. So my name is Dave Wirtz, born and raised here in Hurricane. Proud to say so. Marshall graduate, and decided to plant my roots here in West Virginia for a while. About 7-ish years ago, give or take, Bryce and I started a digital marketing agency. A couple bright-eyed, ambitious young men looking to change the world, of course, using the internet, right? So I'll speak a little bit for Bryce's local guy too, right? So we understood the needs of the local area. We had a particular skill, and that's using the internet to drive revenue, right? So e-commerce, online sales, ads, all that kind of stuff that really drives your business forward. So Blenko was of course, if you guys have heard anything about Blenko, was a sleepy little business for a long, long time. And we finally talked the management at the time and the family, the Blenko family, yet still, into, hey, this whole internet thing's real, serious. It's not going anywhere. You should take advantage of it. And long story short, here we are.
And here you are. Bryson?
Sure. My name is Bryson Cutler. My background is actually in IT and digital marketing, but nowadays I focus more on business development and business operations. I think Dave covered our background pretty well there, but like you said, we started a marketing business, I think about 8 years ago now. We started working with Blenko back in 2017. Started off real slow with them, working on the website, working on social media marketing, digital ads and stuff like that. And it turns out, you can put something pretty in front of people on the internet and they'll buy it.
That's right.
So here we are, almost 8 years later, both proud to serve as vice presidents at Blenko Glass Company, and looking forward to taking Blenko forward and staying around for another 100 years.
How did you guys meet?
It's a good question. Mutual friends in the college town of Huntington.
In the college town of Huntington. I was going to say, I know we went to school together.
That's right. Me and Ashley go way back.
Way back.
Yep. Back to middle school, probably, right?
Yeah. What elementary school did you go to?
Lakeside.
Oh, I went to Hurricane Town.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. I won't hold it against you. It's okay.
It's all right. I mean, whatever works. Let's talk a little bit. You guys, you did touch on Blenko, but what are some of the things about the Blenko company that drew you both to want to take a more active role in that family-owned business?
So really, a lot of it's the history of Blenko. Being in elementary school around here, it's one of the field trips that everybody goes on. It's every day that we hear somebody comes through and says, last time I was here was 40 years ago on a field trip. And, just that kind of historic gravitas that Blenko has is really important to us. And, being able to give back to not only the company but the community that we were raised in is super important. It's one of the things that drew us there.
Yeah, so I mentioned went to Lakeside Elementary, right? So I grew up on a creek out in the holler out Turkey Creek, and those West Virginia values that we were all raised with. To see that once bright and shining thing, Blenko, we knew more was possible with it, right? It was a dusty gem that needed polished off and brought back to her previous luster. And we felt it was our duty to do so. It was in our backyard. We had the skills to do it, and we put the effort into it.
Yeah. You guys have done a great job, a really, really good job.
So we are but a sliver of the true effort that happens at Blenko. Truly, we have acquired and amassed a powerful team of people. We've imported some serious talent. Our creative director is amazing. Surely you've seen our photos, right? Mr. Real Lavender, awesome Appalachian, incredible human being, but an insanely talented photographer. So she makes us look like $1 million every photo. So to bring that raw resource talent, right? Because Blenko, we buy our sand. It's raw skill, raw talent, right? It's just a caloric expenditure of moving a pipe. We don't use tools or automation. So to be able to take those raw resources, the talent here locally, and to be able to export that across all 50 states across the world is really an honor and a privilege.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. What are some of the things that you all most enjoy? You guys do a lot of things that allow the community to come in and take part in in the experience that is Blenko. And so what are some of your favorite times of year and favorite things that you all like to do?
Sure. You know, we have a couple events every year. One of them is Festival of Glass. We bring in people from nationwide, really, to do blow your own classes, to see us do our work, and to really just kind of fellowship with glass, and that's really special. Another thing we're starting to do now is we've got our mobile unit, which is we deploy to different educational events, nonprofit events, stuff like that, and that's just a really cool way to be out in the community and really spread the gospel of Blenko, I like to say.
Well, we also just released we have a yearly marketing initiative with Western University's Industrial Extension. So we just released, if you check our Facebook page, it's a gorgeous little sun catcher designed by a young lady named Scarlett here at West Hayes Elementary.
She was in my mom's class.
Awesome. Small world, small county. So she made the artwork. We, through the skilled people of Blenko, made a graphite stamp, and we actually pressed it into molten glass, and it makes a beautiful little solar system that matches our space theme this year.
Yeah.
So if you've been following us, we get to do some pretty cool things like tell the West Virginia story this year in space, so Green Bank Observatory and all those things that make us unique. We get to celebrate with glass, which is really fun.
Let's talk a little bit about the the folks that are there working at Blenko. I know that you have many decades worth of employees that have been there for a long time. So let's talk a little bit about that and how you all retain those skilled and qualified workers, and what you're doing to try to encourage more people to look at glass manufacturing as a career for the future, for when those folks retire.
Sure, that's a great question. In fact, Mr. Daniel Chapman, our master mold maker. So if you've been to Blenko, you saw the molds laying around. How long had it been? 46
Something like
years,
that, yeah.
46-year tenure at Blenko. So one of the challenges, of course, with keeping the historical legacy stuff is blending it with the new generations as well. So that's been a challenge, of course. But I tell you, through the graces of the Blenko family, we have a very short job description. It has 3 little bullet points. And all it is number 1, make sure the factory lasts another 100 years. Number 2, take as good of care of your people as you can. And number 3, profit is nice. And so what that means is we get to reinvest every penny, every dime and nickel that we make right back into the company. So that means higher benefits than ever. We have higher wages. We have 401k with match. We have vacation. And this sounds kind of baseline kind of company stuff, but that has been absent for decades at Blenko. So to attract the next generation, we really have to make it pretty sweet, right? Because Blenko is, there's no secret, it's just hard work. It's a factory environment. It's hot in the winter, in the summertime, cold in the wintertime. So you have to be tough to work there. And so you really, we have to optimize for total lifetime value of our customers, of course, to keep our sales going. But internally, if we don't optimize for the total lifetime value of the employee, we'll get snuffed out, we'll implode, because we're not replacing that legacy of skill that came before them. So it's hard sometimes to get the Gen Z and the millennials to work with what came before a boomer. I don't even know. But whatever that was is a challenge. But you hear a lot like the millennials don't show up for work. You can't get into work, anything else. But I tell you, we've got 20 plus young guys and gals, women on the hot shop now, that show up at 5:45 a.m. every single day. They work until 2:30 every day, no matter the temperature, and they take pride in their work. So to have been able to kind of focus on that talent, that type of person that it takes to do that stuff, is really what's critical and what's crucial to keep Blenko going.
And to add on to that, you know, it's really about listening to the employees and investing. The old timers, when we got there, they had a saying, and they like to say, "We'll be here when you're gone." So to come in there as 2 younger people with all these ideas and stuff, and to get them to buy into that, it's really just about listening to them and investing in them and showing them that, you know, we do care about their health, we do care about their wages, we do care about keeping them there.
One of the first days I stood in front of the hot shop guys. It was all guys at the time. I said, "Okay, guys, we're here. We're going to change some stuff. We're going to make it better. What do you want to do?" One of the very first things that was yelled to me was, "We need a good place to use the bathroom." And so we took that very seriously. So now Blenko has one of the nicest manufacturing bathrooms in a West Virginia manufacturing facility. Heated in the wintertime, cooled in the summertime. We got guys and gals, so we got capacity now to grow the team, and that starts with the bathroom sometimes.
Yeah, you know, it can start with something as simple as that.
Priority number 1 and 2.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about how you guys took Blenko from something that, people had to drive there or visit like the Tamarack to get, or, things like that, to now what is has a following of 97,000 people, and how we're shipping, glass everywhere. And so let's talk a little bit about that growth.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, Blenko's had a lot of different sales models in the past. And originally, back in 120 years ago, they started out as a sheet glass manufacturer. So we've gone through sheet glass, we've gone through other architectural types of glass, to tableware, and here most recently, Blenko was primarily a wholesaler. So like you said, Tamarack, that'll be the JCPenney's, the big box stores. And really, when you sell wholesale, you're only getting about half the potential margin on that. So whenever we're looking at the potential of Blenko and how we can revitalize the business, really online sales is the answer there. We can sell directly to the customer. We get that full margin, and that lets us do a lot of cool things. Like I said, investing in our employees. So really, that starts with a good website. Starts with a good digital presence. Starts with a good marketing team, a good marketing program, and really after that, it's about running ads and getting in front of people and selling that glass.
And you guys are the guys to tell people how to do that, right?
We like to think so.
I think so. So anything else you guys want to talk about today? Well, I've got you and showcasing the talent that we have here.
I tell you, the apprentices that we have at Blenko are something to see. So if you've been there 20 years ago, we're worth a visit now. You should definitely see the improvements, the upgrades. If you haven't been there in 20 years, it's cleaner, it's brighter. It's a whole different, hate to say it, vibe at Blenko now. So we have just some hungry young apprentices, and so we're available 9 to 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. We try to do demo weekends as much as we can. We get the mobile unit out and about, fully deployed as well. So we're doing at least 2 events every month throughout West Virginia. Plan to do more as we can. So just because, Blenko's in your backyard, you should absolutely make the effort to come see us. There's great little eateries. There's a Venetian and all sorts of stuff. There's reasons to come to this side of the road, I guess it is. But Blenko is old, but we're going to be here through the efforts of those young apprentices and the next generation that's there. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, like Dave said, come see us. Christmas is coming up. We have visitor centers open. We're open for observation 9 to 2:30, but our visitor center itself is open until 5 every day, and then open from noon to 5 on Sundays. So come check us out. We've got 10 beautiful new furnaces and continuing to improve every day.
Yep. Awesome. Got new Christmas products coming. We ship out of the gift shop, so if you ever needed to just get a gift for somebody, pop right in, ship it right from the gift shop, and your gift giving is done. It's really handy.
That's good to know.
One more thing, if you want to invest in the community, we do a quarterly Glass for Good program. So, for instance, we're working with Little Victories now. So that's an additional way you can help invest in the community, is working with us and purchasing those products, so we can donate half of those proceeds to that organization.
That's cool.
So last year alone, we ended up donating over $50,000 to different nonprofit organizations like the Woody Williams Gold Star Families, UNICEF for Ukraine refugees, Diamond Council, Girl Scouts, and all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So real impact just with a silly little piece of glass.
Wow, it's not silly. It's beautiful, beautiful art. But that's great. You guys do so much, and I really appreciate you coming in, being here with us for just a second. And
well, we appreciate what you've done for both for us and Blenko. We appreciate what you've done for Putnam County and trying to connect us all. We were here when you weren't here, right? And so we can tell that there's a difference in temperature and the tempo of the area. So thank you for all your efforts.
Cool. Thank you, guys. See you next time.